Okay, I think we're ready to go. Can the other sites hear us? Commissioner McHugh and Commissioner Cameron?
We can hear you in Boston, Mr. Chairman.
All right. How about Brockton?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine. Great. All right. Before we lose it, I will call this meeting to order. I'm the chair, Steve Crosby, the chair of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. We are here to hold our formal public hearings on the regulations that we have proposed for overseeing the first phase of our application process for expanded gaming facilities, gaming licenses in Massachusetts. As you now can see, I hope we are trying to do this in a coordinated way where 3 sites, one in each of our 3 regions, will be tied in together. So our speakers here will be heard on the other 2 sites. We had no idea how many speakers we would have, and we do want to stay available long enough that people who come after work can come. So if we run through our speakers, we'll just have a temporary adjournment and wait, and if other people sign in, we will start up again. But I don't want to keep speakers that we do have waiting. So I think, let me just sort of set the ground rules here. Just to reiterate, the purpose of our meeting today is solely to solicit comments on the regulations that have been posted and that you all have seen. We will not be able to discuss any other issues that are pertain to the gaming business, to the gaming questions. We can answer questions of clarification if they're straightforward and non-controversial. If they're complicated, we'll simply have to take your question, think about it, and then we will eventually post all of your comments. We will post all of our answers. Where we have to think about it a little bit, we will post that, so everybody will have an opportunity to get all of the same information on every issue. I think we will start out by seeing how many sign-ins we have for right away, and then figure out a process. Boston and Houston and Boston, no, that's Boston and Brockton. Do we have any other sign-ins? Commissioner Cameron? Sorry, I should go one at a time, sorry. How about Commissioner Cameron?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have a couple of folks here to observe. We do not have anyone as of yet signed up to make a comment.
Okay, and Commissioner McHugh?
I believe that that's the same here, Mr. Chairman. We have a number of people here to observe, but I don't believe that we have anybody who wants to comment. If there is somebody that wants to raise their hand, we see no raised hands, so we've received some comments, but there are no.
Okay, yeah, we have 4 comments that have already been submitted on the web. They're available for other people to see. If anybody arrives who does want to sign up, there are sign-up sheets available. We'll keep them out there. But in the meantime, we will get started. We have a special first speaker, Chairman Bosom, I believe, representing Mohegan Sun. Welcome, and you're invited to kick off this process.
Thank you, Chairman Crosby and Commissioner Stebbins, for having me here today. It's a great honor. My name is Bruce Two Dogs Bosom. I am the chairman of the Mohegan Tribe in Uncasville, Connecticut, and chairman of the board for the Mohegan Tribal Gaming Authority, which is back on our reservation in Uncasville, Connecticut, as well as our commercial gaming property, Pocono Downs, which is in just outside of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. We've also recently announced our management agreement down in New Jersey at the Resorts Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, which will extend Mohegan's ability to deliver the best gaming product in the Northeast. And I want to thank the Massachusetts Gaming Commission for the opportunity to offer testimony this afternoon on the proposed regulations. The Mohegans have always strived to maintain honest, transparent, and favorable government-to-government relationships. In Connecticut, we have worked with the local, state, and federal government for over 400 years. And with the construction and operation of Mohegan Sun, we have delivered thousands of jobs and billions of dollars in gaming taxes, economic growth, and charitable contributions. Since 1996, Mohegan Sun's flagship property in Connecticut has evolved into one of the highest grossing casinos in the world. Mohegan Sun expanded to Pennsylvania in 2006 with Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, the first commercial gaming facility to open up under the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's gaming expansion legislation. And that has grown steadily in jobs and revenue, and we recently began construction of our new hotel addition down there. Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs is the first off-reservation commercial gaming enterprise operated by the Mohegan tribe, and the success in Pennsylvania demonstrates Mohegan Sun's ability to operate and thrive in a commercially regulated jurisdiction. In Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, we are proud to enjoy a positive and constructive relationship with the regulatory bodies in these jurisdictions, as well as with the state and local governments and the broader communities where we operate. Our leadership is here in New England, which allows us to maintain a hands-on approach with our properties and first-person accountability with our regulators and our local communities. We have brought the same approach to Palmer, Massachusetts, where for over 3 years we have worked to earn the support of the citizens of Palmer and we are deeply engaged with the town government on the formation of a formal host community agreement. And as part of over $14 million Mohegan has invested in the Palmer project to date, we have delivered a $50,000 payment and are committed to a significant additional amount for the town's expenses in connection with a number of studies that are well underway. With regards to the regulations, we appreciate the Commission's commitment to a regulatory structure that prioritizes transparency, ethics, and fostering economic development and community partnership throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have also been impressed on how quickly the Commission has moved to create these regulations and the speed by which it is moving through the initial regulatory process. Mohegan has considerable experience with gaming regulatory bodies in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, and with the National Indian Gaming Commission. And we are pleased to share these experiences in order to aid the Commission to create the best gaming regulatory system in the country. And I'm also pleased to introduce Kevin Conroy from Foley Hoag to offer our comments on the regulations and consideration. And I welcome any of your comments and questions also today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I will tell you that you've been ably represented, your counterpart community has been ably represented by Jennifer Barafoldi. She did submit a question about the process, which doesn't really fit in the context of this meeting, but I have told her that we will talk with her either later on today or tomorrow to answer that question. No, I think we're ready to move on. I did visit your facility after I was selected for this job. Having never been to Connecticut, I came to your facility and decided that I might try the slots just to see what it was like. And my wife said, you know what, if you win, that might not look so good. So I decided that I'm probably the only person in the world who has decided not to do slots for fear that I might win.
Your wife is very smart.
Right. Enjoyed the visit. Thank you very much. I think we're all set. Anybody else, Commissioner? All right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Chairman and Commissioners, we just have a few comments on the regulations. We submitted a 7-page letter on the Commission's website about, by email pursuant to the regs about 45 minutes ago. I don't know if you have that in front of you. I'll deliver copies to you thereafter.
We will have your full testimony.
You'll have our full testimony.
Okay.
It's about a 7-page letter. I'm just going to hit a couple of the high points for you in the interest of time.
Excuse me, Mr. Conroy, just one sec. Can Boston and Brockton hear? Is this working okay? Brockton?
Yes, can hear clearly.
Great. In Boston?
Boston, likewise, we had
Great.
a few little cutouts of the rendering, so.
Great. Okay, go ahead, thank you.
Just a number of quick points on behalf of Mohegan Sun Commissioners. First, we talked about Mohegan Sun is very used to the regulatory bodies in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, as well as in Connecticut. Our comments talk about adopting a number of the definitions that are used in those states, both for efficiency as well as the fact that Mohegan Sun has learned that those definitions provide some value and provide some efficiency. Second, we wanted to commend the Commission for the use of electronic filing as part of the RFA-1 and the RFA-2 processes. We have found, Mohegan Sun has found in other jurisdictions where they have to file both paper copies as well as electronically, that the paper copies, numerous, cause environmental harm as well as lead to a lack of efficiency throughout this process. We would encourage the Commission to further the use of electronic filing outside even the RFA-1 and the RFA-2 process in all filings before the Commission. We think it's a wonderful way to promote the environment as well as be efficient, but
You're talking about like license applications on the ongoing basis?
Yes. I think that if the Commission can think through for your further regulatory opportunities, whether electronic filing can be adopted throughout, it'd be useful. Third, we wanted to commend the Commission for requiring the disclosure of all political and community contributions since the enactment of the Act. We know this is something that the Commission thought about, spent some time deliberating, and we think it's useful and is required under the Act. Consistent with that provision, Mohegan Sun, although not an applicant at the time of the enactment of the Act, and won't become an applicant until it submits its forms, adopted a policy of adhering to the Act's campaign finance provisions on a voluntary basis once the Act was enacted. Our fourth comment deals with confidentiality. And the proposed regs provide 5 exceptions to the Public Records Act, to the general proposition that all Commission records are public records. There are 5 exemptions to that act. However, throughout some of the provisions in 205 CMR 103, it appears to Mohegan Sun that you're only allowing applicants to assert protection for those documents on 1 out of the 5 exemptions. In 103.04, 103.05, 103.110, and 103.11, the regulations only allow an applicant to assert that the documents are confidential, which is exemption number 2. One of the things that we talk about in our written comments, Chairman and Commissioner, is that we think that the applicant should be allowed to assert any of the 5 exemptions to the public records law. That's because we think in certain situations that documents may be exempt from the public records law or might meet the privacy statute in Massachusetts and not necessarily be confidential. Finally, our final comment deals with the adjudicatory proceedings. And Mohegan Sun thinks that 205 CMR 11504 requires the Commission to hold an adjudicatory hearing on each Phase 1 report prepared by the Bureau. And it is our position that if your Bureau has given an applicant a clean report without any conditions, that the Commission may not need to and may not want to have an adjudicatory hearing. And in fact, an adjudicatory hearing in that circumstance may actually be inefficient, may lead the Commission to having to spend time and energy focusing on applicants when it did not need to because the Bureau has given a clean report. And so our written comments talk about maybe in certain situations the applicant can waive the requirement for a hearing. And in addition, the Act specifically does not, in our reading, does not require an adjudicatory hearing regarding all Phase 1 applications. Rather, the Act at Section 17F requires an adjudicatory hearing upon denial of an application and upon a request of an applicant to contest any findings of fact by the Bureau relative to the suitability of the applicant. So those are our comments. We want to thank you again for the opportunity to comment today. We've submitted a very detailed letter that follows with these comments, and we thank the Commission for all of its efforts.
Don't go away. Thank you.
Sure.
And I won't ask for clarification because it sounds like you've got it more explained with more detail. But on the adjudicatory, is it your understanding, and I don't know the answer to this, probably some of the other commissioners do, but is it your understanding that the adjudicatory hearing is conceived of only to protect the interest of the applicant, as opposed to other people who might want to comment, whether the clean bill of health or not?
I think the point we're trying to make, well, first of all, I do believe that the regulations limit the party of standing to just be the applicant. So I'm not necessarily sure that if there was a community group or something like that wanted to comment specifically on the Phase 1 findings, that they would have an opportunity. I understand that Phase 2 may be different. We think that the Act, again, in the section that I cited to earlier, only requires a hearing in the event that either the applicant requests it or that the Bureau has given less than a clean report. And I think that's probably most appropriate for the Phase 1 hearings, where we're looking at the suitability, the financial suitability of the applicant and some of the integrity issues. These are generally issues that that the applicant is most aware of, and what we are concerned about is that if the Commission moves to an adjudicatory hearing in all situations, even on clean reports, that there'll be some inefficiency, and that the Commission will take a little bit longer than it needs to get through this process.
Okay. Brockton, do you have Commissioner Cameron? Any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Commissioner McHugh or Commissioner Zuniga?
This is Jim McHugh. Are you reading the word report as a report on the applicant or the report on each qualifier?
I'm sorry, Commissioner. Tell me which comment are you referring to, Commissioner?
The last one, with respect to 11504. I understand the thrust of your comment, but I wondered whether you were interpreting and reading the term report as used in 115043 as a Bureau report on each qualifier, or simply a report on an applicant.
Oh, okay. I understand your question. We are certainly reading it to refer to the applicant. I believe we're also reading it to refer to any of the qualifiers, because we think that the Commission may be again leading to some inefficiency if it needs to have a hearing on each of the qualifiers.
Yes. Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stebbins, anything?
No question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Conroy, thank you very much. Appreciate both of you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for coming. Do we have any new signups in Springfield? No. Okay. Do we have any signups in Brockton?
We do not.
Okay. Do we have any signups in Boston?
Has anybody in the audience signed up to speak? Would anybody like to speak without signing up?
Please, somebody speak. Oh, no, that's not right.
Both questions, Mr. Chairman, is no.
Okay. We have quite a nice little audience here. It's unfortunately there's nobody to talk to them. All right.
This one here too, Mr. Chairman. Maybe the audiences can talk to each other.
Right. Unless somebody has got a little stand-up comic routine that they'd like to use, we unfortunately, both to comply with the spirit and letter of the law, but also to comply with our own spirit and trying to make this as flexible and accessible and transparent as possible, intentionally started at 4 so that we could get certain people on their business hours, but we were able to run over after 5 o'clock so that if people wanted to come after work, they could come. We have nothing else to do but to wait, and we can't close up shop and go away because somebody might come and later on, and I think we'll probably stay here at least till a little while after 5, maybe as late as 5:30. But I don't know that we need to keep the whole system open. We can do whatever our technological wizards think is the best thing. I think we're just going to sit here and individually do work or go get a cup of coffee or whatever. Do you want to turn the technology off, or is it safest to leave it on? Okay, so you'll be able to know at each site? Okay. So they are going to keep the system up and running, and the technology folks will monitor all the sites to see if anybody else shows up. In the meantime, commissioners, don't go very far away from your cell phones, because we'll call if anybody comes back. Audience, thank you for coming. You're welcome to stay, and we will wait and see if anybody else shows up. Any other comments from commissioners till we take a brief hiatus here?
Mr. Chairman, if we picked a specific time to reconvene, then everybody could.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, it's now 20 past 4, and there's nobody. Should we wait, come back at 5? I lost Commissioner McHugh.
And everybody could do a little work.
Say again, we lost you early on, Commissioner. What did you say?
I was saying that if we announced that we were suspending until 5, then everybody could do other things. And
Right.
know when
Right.
when we were going to resume.
All right, good. So let's just, I don't think we need a motion, do we? We can just casually suspend until 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to suspend this meeting until 5 o'clock. We will reconvene formally at that point and see if we have any other speakers. If any other speakers come, please make yourselves known to the commissioners or staff at the sites. Okay, thank you. See you in 40 minutes. It's now 5 o'clock. Can everybody hear me? Brockton, can you hear me, Commissioner Cameron?
Loud and clear, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and Commissioner McHugh and Zuniga?
We're ready, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great. We're going to reconvene our hearing on the request for application Phase 1 regs and see whether we have any other sign-in speakers. Janice, nobody? Nobody in Springfield? Commissioner Cameron?
No one is here in Brockton to speak.
Okay. Are you having fun?
Absolutely, always fun.
Commissioner McHugh?
I think unless there's a show of hands to the contrary, there's no one here who's prepared to offer any written oral comments either, Mr. Chairman. I see no hands, and so we have no speakers.
Okay. Well, I think it's highly unlikely that anybody is going to come in after this. Does anybody, and we can't, unfortunately, we can't use this opportunity to talk about other things because we haven't set up an open meeting. Is there any kind of a consensus? Do you think we've given it enough of a shot to stay?
We're having trouble here hearing you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe the volume could be adjusted a little bit.
Did you hear that, control room?
Yes, now that's great.
Is that better?
Much better. Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, do we have any kind of a consensus? I think it's highly unlikely anybody's going to drop in after this, but I would also hate to miss anybody. Does anybody have a thought? Should we sit for a few minutes, or do you think we've given it a fair shot?
Well, this is our first run through this. My sense, quite frankly, is that we've given it a fair shot. But I'm willing to be persuaded otherwise.
Yeah. Commissioner Cameron, do you have a sense?
There are no vehicles lined up in the parking lot here. I concur that those folks have had an opportunity, and I think it's unlikely that we'll get anyone at this location.
Yeah. I think we ought to call it a day. It's too bad. This technology is really cool, and I'd like to show it off a little more. But I guess it's a credit to us and to our consultants that our regs were pretty good. I think Mr. Conroy is still here, right? No, I don't see him. Yeah, okay. Thank you for we got your long notes. Thank you. Those were good thoughts, and we will take them under consideration and get back to you. So I think that's it, everybody.
Do you want to make it just
oh,
a quick
sorry.
reminder?
I was just gonna, sorry to throw a wrench here, but I was gonna suggest that we keep it open until 5:30, like I think we originally talked about at the beginning of this proceeding. Perhaps with the expectation that anybody who leaves after work may still have time to arrive if they wanted to make a...
Well, I think that's certainly technically accurate. Whether we're sort of imagining an interest that doesn't exist, I don't know. I'll go either way.
Well, we had talked about doing that, Mr. Chairman, and that certainly would give, would take us the last mile.
All right.
And would certainly allow anybody who was at work to comment, and it's only half an hour away. And
Okay, that's fine. I'm with you guys. We'll do that. Let me mention a couple of things I forgot to mention. The web transmission is not working. If anybody was trying to watch it on the web, because our web provider their whole system is down all across the Northeast or Massachusetts or the world or whatever they are. So anybody who's had calls about, I know we had some calls from the press from people who were trying to watch it on the web, but it turns out that our web provider is down. Were you going to talk about tomorrow's meeting?
No, I was just going to mention if we were wrapping it up at 5, that we at least convey information about how long that comment period is open till, and people still have an opportunity to submit any comments, or whether there's...
Why don't,
deadline.
I don't remember what,
it's not working.
pardon?
Was that Commissioner Stebbins talking? If so, that microphone wasn't working.
Yeah. Commissioner Stebbins was saying we should announce how long we're holding. I think we've closed the hearing period, haven't we? The comment period? Commissioner McHugh?
At 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock today, the written comment period closed at 5 o'clock today.
Right. And we will be taking the comment that we got today and the others that were submitted. And actually, I think we will not be talking about them until the meeting of the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. We should also remind folks that there is a meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Actually, I think it's in this same facility. Pardon? 1 o'clock, sorry. At 1 o'clock on Tuesday in this same facility, all the commissioners will be here, and we'll be having our regular Tuesday meeting, including an agenda item on the issue of the consultant procurement and the RFP schedule that Mayor is proposing. And that one also will be streamed live on the web. All right, so we're going to give it another 25 minutes. I think we should do another temporary adjournment. And let's come back at 5:30 and take one last shot at it. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. See you in 25 minutes. Commissioner Cameron, can you, she's just getting plugged in. Can you hear us, Commissioner Cameron?
I can hear you loud and clear, and we do not have any additional folks, or we don't have any, that is, to make comments today.
I hope Brandon's with you.
He's been excellent support to you, as always.
Great.
In company, apparently.
And how about in Boston?
We're in the same position, but we still have some attentive folks in the audience.
Well, we have some attentive folks in the audience too, which we very much appreciate. But we do not have any more signers, correct? All right. Well, I think this time we will call it a day. It's 5:30. I do want to say, just for the record, that we have made it a priority from the beginning of this project to be sure that the process both is and is known as fair, transparent, and participatory. And even if we overachieve from time to time, like we did today, the principle is absolutely critical. And even if we overachieve once in a while, we're going to stick to the principle of being fair, transparent, and participatory in the way we conduct our work. Thank you all very much for those of you who came, to our two speakers, commissioners and staff. And we will look forward to seeing quite a few of you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thanks very much. We are adjourned.